So let me sidebar you really quick with another question. Separating art from the artist. Leaving Neverland hit a month ago now, I don't know.
Oh God.
And really quick, I mean, because it's super popular. Everyone has an opinion. The idea of moving away. So we look at Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is crazy. I love Tom Cruise movies. Michael Jackson has been accused of a lot of things, and people are boycotting his music.
So, dude, I saw Leaving Neverland.
I did as well. I watched it the night it premiered.
Okay. From an emotional standpoint, if I'm watching this and I'm not doing any fact checking or anything, like, it's a very moving story, and it sucked me in to where at the end of this I'm just like rethinking, like, oh, can I still like Michael Jackson?
Can I listen to his music?
Can I still listen to his music? It was very compelling, you know? So on one hand, it's like, was Michael Jackson diddling kids and putting out good music at the same time?
And I mean, in his humanitarian efforts, they very briefly touch on. They don't look at any of the positives of the man, the myth, the legend. It's told from a very small perspective. I'm not defending it one way or another, because I think the problem is that it's very easy in this culture to go, I love Michael Jackson, you're a liar.
Yeah.
And it's like, what about people that this really happened to? I mean, this whole Me Too movement is another piece of this. That people are afraid to come forward because it's like, you love him so much, you're not even going to listen to me.
Right.
And it's hard. And then, of course, the whole idea, you're just after his money or whatever.
And here's the thing, dude, is that so in Leaving Neverland, you got these two guys. There's Wade Robson and James Safechuck.
Safechuck, yeah.
I think is his name. They call him Jimmy.
Yeah.
So you got Jimmy and Wade. And so these two guys were, oh, God.
Yeah. You good?
I'm having trouble over here. I got to get a drink.
Right. No, you're good. So, yeah. So, essentially, the whole story follows the two boys individually, one and then the other, their intimate relationship with their family and Michael Jackson.
Yes. And so they were really good dancers. Michael saw a lot of himself in these boys. Yeah. And then he was helping them. But eventually... it got they tell the story that it quickly got sexual, that he was in fact grooming them. He was trying to isolate them
in a very graphic way.
Oh, dude.
They detailed intimate encounters with him, and it was
hard to listen to.
Man, it was rough.
It was rough to listen to. But here's the thing, and I'm just gonna say it. I don't know that I can just believe this whole documentary. Like, on the surface, I want to believe it. But we live in a country with laws. And I can't just buy...
Wade Robson has broken the law. If this documentary is real and all that stuff, he has multiple times in a court of law sworn under oath that nothing happened to him.
He defended Michael in the original trial.
Both. Yeah, both times he was...
Here's my problem, is that, like, could this have happened? Probably, but we're never going to know the truth, like, whether it is or isn't the fact.
And it's hard because we it's like, with the way content is now, in media and fake news and everything, and conspiracy theories and all these things, it's like, I need cold, hard facts.
Yeah, and the thing is...
But it's like, how do we get those? I could doctor a document. I could make a fake video with that face technology and make it look like a video. I mean, how do we ever know anything anymore?
Exactly.
But the original question is the same. I'm gonna ask you a hard question, dude.
Before I get to that, I just wanted to touch on the fact that, like, Michael was found not guilty by a jury of his peers. Does that mean that he did it? I don't know. Like, did he not do it? I don't know. Like, I mean, what's his face? O.J. Simpson was found not guilty, and most people think that he did it, you know? And so
most people know that he did it.
And so he wrote that book, like, if I had done
I
would have done it like this.
It's like you're such a moron, projecting. Dude. Yeah.
And so...
Here's exactly how I would have done it. Thanks for your confession, asshole.
So, like, but dude, Michael was found acquitted by jury of his peers, right? And then this dude even, like, defended him. You've got so many other people, like Macaulay Culkin, saying that, like, that Michael was just really young and youthful, and he was the way so here's the thing. On the surface, the dude looks like a monster. and he probably looks like he diddled kids. That's the truth.
Yeah, he's spending sleepovers with boys and sleeping in his room. Yeah,
like he did all those things. But could it be possible that Michael was just too pure for this world?
Maybe. I think...
Because here's the thing. I listened to... Go back and listen to the Oprah documentary when Oprah was interviewing him. It was like the most popular... I think it to this day was the most viewed documentary. Like in... Not even documentary, interview that was live casted. Like just millions listened to that at the time. And he talks about how... he was abused as a child, and he spends his whole life trying to care for those that can't care for themselves. And he talks about how he's just trying to be like Jesus, and that when Jesus talks about how we need to all be like little children, like he really buys into that. He said in that documentary, that interview, that people think that there's some kind of sexual relationship, but when he sees children, he sees the face of God. Like, these are his words. Yeah. And he like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
You don't know.
Like, I remember reading, he read this, did this speech for this university called Oxford Union. Highly recommend you Google his speech. The stuff he said in there just touched my heart. Like this was years ago when I read it. He talks about how he wanted to propose that we install in every single home what he called a children's universal bill of rights. And like the tenets were things that, I mean, this is very idealistic, but they're things that like every child has the right to be loved without having to earn it, and has the right to be protected. And I think, and here's the thing, dude, this dude was abused as a child. Is it possible that he knew all kinds of crazy shit that was going on in Hollywood? You got these Weinstein, Harry, what the hell's his name? Harvey Weinstein. Just diddling people left and right.
Like it's a dark industry, cesspool. Man. Yeah.
And was it possible that he was trying to rescue kids, or was he just bringing them back to his lair, having them?
Yeah, potentially. So here's one thing, though. Here's a point that they make. They talk about the Jimmy, who is very much, I don't want to say more believable, but I don't not want to say it because that's how I felt. But he talks about how when you've been abused and through that situation, that you kind of stop aging. He's like, so people see us as adults, but we still have the mind of a child. And it's like, that's exactly Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. He was obviously abused and treated so poorly, and probably this insane amount of pressure that nobody can understand. He had a horrible situation. He had the worst father anyone could have. Mm-hmm. And who knows? That could have played a piece into it, that he was also just a child as well in an adult's body.
That's what I mean by, is it possible he was just too innocent?
I mean,
right?
We could go on for hours. I'm just going to ask you straight up.
Here's one thing.
Can you separate it? Are you still going to listen to his music?
I can separate it. And there's some of the lyrics of his words are just so beautiful. And if it's a little tainted if it's true. A lot tainted if it's true.
Can you still listen to Bill Cosby?
But I can still separate it. The thing is I never really loved Bill Cosby's comedy anyway.
Really? So, when I was a kid, I loved it.
Like if, here, take another one.
Kevin Spacey, you gonna watch his movies?
Depends on the film. But yeah, I can still watch them. I can separate it. I think the answer is I can separate it. Same with like Louis C.K., I love his comedy.
Yeah, is Louis C.K. less funny now that we know? Unfortunately, no. But yeah,
fortunately so.
Yeah, oh yeah, there you go. Uh-oh. If this ever becomes popular, we're gonna get crucified for this episode, I think.
The truth is that I with leaving Neverland though, I will say this: after that documentary, I kind of did some research, and there's a lot of people from Michael's family. They're still trying to defend him.
Of course. Well, they lost.
They're saying
their entire evaluation went down the toilet.
Yeah,
they dropped the price of Neverland Ranch in half. They cut in half from like $400 million.
They're claiming that they want a piece of the estate, and that's really what they're trying to do.
Well, the estate is what they should have done is gone to the family first and got it when it was valuable. Mm-hmm. I mean, Michael Jackson, before he died, was worth like $18. So when he died, the family started selling stuff. They sold the rights to the Beatles. They sold all these things to try to make some money. And then Michael's popularity skyrocketed up into billions of dollars in his value. But at the time of his death was worth hundreds of dollars to $1 billion. And now it's tanking again because of these charges.
Makes sense.
You know,
I mean, he used to have the rights like the Beatles.
Yeah, I mean, he used to have
the Happy Birthday song,
right?
And
so it's like
dude,
it's weird
loaded.
because it's like, why do this when there's no money? They should have
It is
done it
a
when
little
there
weird.
was money.
Yeah. So are you suggesting that almost adds their credibility?
To a certain extent, I would think so. Yeah.
Here's the problem, though, is that there's guys like Jesse Smollett have ruined everything, and I think that there's too much to be gained from being a victim in today's society.
Well, it's because you can react so virally to things now.
There's a really good article in The Atlantic, and this guy talked about it, where he was talking about the Jesse Smollett, and he called it victimhood chic, and he like there is a real social currency in being a victim these days.
Oh,
and and
especially if you can get away with it,
yeah,
scot-free.
And so it's like, are these people trying to be famous? I don't know. Or did this really happen and they're trying to air this out? I don't know. Truth is we may never know. And sadly, Michael's not around to defend himself.
But even then, would we know?
No. And on YouTube, I saw this YouTube video with Taj and Brandy Jackson. I think it's titled "Debunking Neverland," and they are the niece and nephew of Michael, and they were going hard trying to defend him, and they were trying to make the point like it's Brandy dated Wade for like 6 or 7 years, had a very close relationship.
And it's when
with
they were
him.
younger.
It was when they were supposedly when he was still also involved with Michael. Yeah. And so she's trying to. These two are making the point that there are so much of their timeline that does not add up. That they're making claims that Michael was molesting them at times when Michael was overseas. Like their timelines just do not add up. But they're not. So I don't know. Like, but is it possible that maybe they're looking back and they're just kind of blurring the timelines because they're trying to piece together like fragments of their memory from so long ago?
Yeah, this was. Yeah.
And so it's possible that they're messing up the timeline, or is there some tomfoolery there and that they're being disingenuous? I don't know.
It's hard.
You know, it's hard. And too bad Michael's not around. Although I think it was Michael, he did say, I'll end it at this, his lyrics. When he said, before you judge me, try to love me.
He also said, I saw you kicking dirt in my eye.